and welcome to episode 4 of the Bamboo Chalupa Digital Marketing Podcast. My name is Brett Snyder. I'm the owner of Agora Inbound, and I am joined by Nate Shiver, the author of shiverweb.com.
Hello, hello.
So today we want to talk about the second largest search engine. And we want to talk about a search engine with more volume than Yahoo and Bing combined. Now, anybody who caught our last episode kind of knows what we're alluding to here, but we're talking about YouTube. And we want to talk about YouTube because marketers in 2014 really need to start recognizing the opportunity that video presents for your marketing campaigns. For example, online video and ad revenue associated with it is estimated to reach $5 billion in 2016, which is up from $2.8 billion in 2013. In 2013, we had over a 100% year-over-year growth in views, recording over 35 billion views in December. Now, this is all video. But when we talk about online video, it's almost become synonymous with talking about YouTube. We've got Vimeo, which is making a push for it, actually a really great product. Wistia is, a more notable name in the B2B community. But just as Google is now becoming synonymous with search engine or with online searching, YouTube has that recognition when it comes to online video.
Yeah, so it's just some quick YouTube statistics for you. So they've had 1 billion unique visitors last month, over 6 billion hours of video watched each month. And so that's almost an hour for every person on earth. And not only are people watching it, people are uploading. They see 100 hours of video get uploaded per minute. And so even for the people who aren't, part of that 1 billion who visit YouTube, YouTube is also important because of universal search in the past 3 to 5 years. And that's the idea that the 10 blue links that we've always seen in Google no longer are really 10 blue links. Google has started not only looking at user intent, but also looking at the type of content that people want. So they started serving up videos and news and maps within the search results. So now when you type a search like how to tie a bow tie, the first 3 results aren't websites. They are YouTube videos. And, the first one is from a small business called Total Image Menswear, which may or may not have been able to rank in Google search results back when it was just 10 blue links looking at the most authoritative or best website.
And the point here, and really the core reason why we've chosen this topic for this episode, is that it's become essential for marketers to understand this video medium because of universal search. YouTube is valuable, in terms of the referral traffic, in terms of those 1 billion visits per month, but also as a part of your SEO campaigns tied to this idea of barnacle SEO. We mentioned barnacle SEO on last week's episode, but essentially what this is it goes off the idea that a barnacle itself cannot move on its own. A barnacle is an organism that gets from point A to point B by latching onto something else that is capable of moving. That can be a ship, that can be another animal, but essentially the barnacle relies on the other entity to be able to function, to be able to move. When we talk about this idea of barnacle SEO, it's this idea of being able to latch onto another website's authority and actually rank your content using that website. So going back to our YouTube example, where Nate mentioned Total Image Menswear may not have the authority to rank for a term like how to tie a bow tie, but they were able to create a video that was uploaded to YouTube. YouTube has their own proprietary algorithm for determining how to rank results. And Google is now looking at the authority of YouTube.com, which, by the way, they own, to be able to understand that this is content that somebody looking to learn how to tie a bow tie might be interested in.
Yeah, and one important point about YouTube is that, we talk about it being the second largest search engine, but it's an internal search engine. And that is to say that it's not going out and looking at other websites and videos out on the web. It's looking at content that's hosted on YouTube.com. And so to be able to do barnacle SEO or to be able to rank on YouTube, you have to have a strong presence on YouTube. And you have to be where your audience is. And going back to our second episode and kind of a running theme is that the new age of SEO means taking this diversified approach. It means that to be present on Google means to be present on YouTube. And YouTube, you can not only do this barnacle SEO approach, it also has a lot of other really innovative ways to reach your audience that sort of has these cascading benefits.
And when we talk about these other benefits, one of the most obvious and most straightforward ones is branding. YouTube as a branding play is the opportunity to saturate these universal results with more of your content. It provides the opportunity to present your brand in a new and exciting way to capture users who might not be interested in just blog posts or traditional text-based content. One of the biggest arguments is that people have against video is this is not the type of content my audience is interested in. And if you have the data to back that up, then that's great. But the objective truth is that video provides this extraordinary visual platform, and it keeps users' attention unlike any other social media outlet online. And what we want to kind of talk about here is for the rest of the episode is we want to talk about the how, and the why of YouTube optimization. And the first thing we want to talk about is defining your goals and kind of setting that foundation for what you want to do with your video campaigns.
Yeah, and like Brett said, before you do anything with YouTube, you need to take a step back and think about what you want to use YouTube for, because it's really a separate channel. It's not social media. It's not search. It's really its own platform. And as Phil Nottingham, part of Distilled, who he's done a lot of great work for talking about how to optimize for YouTube. He might say it's not just your content your repository. It's not just the stuff to stash internal videos so you can embed it somewhere else. You need to decide, do you want website traffic? Do you want subscribers to your YouTube channel? Do you want to drive sales? And if you're going to drive sales, how are you going to do that with YouTube videos? Because a side note is that people don't go to YouTube to buy. They're going there searching for things that they want, but it rarely has that kind of commercial intent where people are going, saying, oh, I want to buy something. I need to go to YouTube to buy it.
Right. And that's where this idea of branding comes in. This is why we talk about YouTube as an opportunity to saturate results and to really promote your brand. This could be the same buying cycle. Your user may be in the same buying cycle, then they don't even know it yet. So you want to make sure that you introduce your brand into that conversation before there is that explicit purchase intent. Even if they didn't go to YouTube to buy, a good marketer is always looking for an opportunity to push their brand out to their audience, to be where your audience is.
Right. And even if you subscribe, to the traditional 7-step buying cycle, the purchase step isn't until step 4. And so even if your video doesn't generate direct sales, if it generates awareness or interest or even consideration in your brand, product, or service, it's going to have an effect and it's going to play that role. And so how do you actually generate awareness with YouTube videos? Well, you have to start with a tactic that we're all familiar with traditional SEO, but it really goes neglected when it comes to optimizing video, and that is keyword research.
And the fact that keyword research goes largely neglected when it comes to videos is really astounding. If you think about the level of effort that's required to produce a video versus to produce a blog post, more often than not, you're going to require considerably more time and resources to be able to effectively do that. It's much higher than it would be for a traditional blog post, and it's mind-blowing to me that a lot of people don't do their diligence to understand what they should be creating content about and how they should be creating that content. And I think the idea of keyword research, the phrase keyword research, throws a lot of people. And ultimately what we're doing here is we're just trying to understand what the audience is interested in. Don't think about it in terms of keywords. Think about it in terms of research into why your audience should care. Why are they going to a search engine? Why are they going to YouTube? What type of problem are they looking to solve by visiting this search engine? So very quickly, we have our traditional keyword research tools, the ones that we're all familiar with. We've got things like the AdWords Keyword Planner. We have, different things like Ubersuggest and Suval. WordStream's got a really great tool for keyword research. And even though YouTube just killed they killed their own proprietary keyword research tool not too long ago, there are still a number of different tools that we want to share with you guys that talk about this idea of doing keyword research specifically for what is popular on YouTube. And one of those first ones that we're going to talk about is Google Trends, another Google product. It used to be Google Insights. They kind of merged Google Insights and Trends. But essentially what this is it reports on rising terms that are becoming more popular in recent weeks or in recent months. And they also extrapolate which terms they expect to become more popular in the coming weeks and the coming months. Google Trends is a phenomenal tool when it comes to any sort of audience research, but they do have an option to select for YouTube only. And this gives you the opportunity to, like I said, to understand the trends and to be where your audience is even before they are. If you know that it helps you understand seasonality, it helps you understand different trends in terms of timing. If you know that people are going to start looking for how to tie a bow tie closer to June, because that's where typically people are getting married, which is why I originally searched for that query, you can understand how to be where your audience is before they are. YouTube Suggest is another great option. It's a great option in Google and Yahoo and Bing, really in any search engine that will give you suggested results. Amazon as well, where you start typing in your core phrase and just don't hit enter. See what else the search engine is telling you that people typically append to the end of that query. There's a great tool that Nate actually found. It's called keywordtool.io. It's how you can find it on the web. And we'll link to it in the show notes. But essentially what this does is it scrapes YouTube auto-suggest keywords and it keeps things in a nice consolidated format for you. So you don't have to go in there and type in, your term plus the letter A, plus the letter B, plus the letter C. It gives you a sense of what is suggested for that. Can always still use the Google Keyword Planner and like I said, your traditional tools. But we also have one that, is more of a pro tip that a lot of folks don't use. And that is comment search.
This is so cool.
Looking at comment search really is, because comment search is the most direct feedback you are going to get from the audience that is engaged on YouTube videos. Yes, there are going to be commenters that are going to not add value. That's a reality of the internet. But if you can get through and kind of ignore what we'll call the trolls of the commenters, you actually get to see legitimate, authentic, and direct feedback from the people who watch these videos about what they liked, what they didn't like, what they would like to see next time, if there's any follow-up questions. The comments, and you can search through comments to be able to understand how the audience has responded to that video, gives you invaluable insights in terms of constructing and crafting additional or future videos.
Yeah, comment search is amazing. And that goes with every platform. We talked about Amazon in the last episode. Look at Amazon reviews. Anyway, not to digress. Channel optimization. So you know what your audience wants, and you don't start optimizing your videos. Your videos are going to live on your YouTube channel, and you need to think about what you want your channel to be, how you want to present your brand. And there are a ton of things that you can do with simply clicking on the channel settings, which a lot of people simply don't do. You can do things like adding links to your website, which not only builds trust in your YouTube channel, it builds trust to your website and gives Google a better picture of who you are online. Build out channel art, fill out the header image. That it's not something that a search engine is going to look at, but it's something that people are going to look at, and it's going to build trust that search engines will then see the side effects of that real trust. Do little things like syncing up your Google Analytics to your YouTube channel. Again, this is just a buried feature in the settings, and it's just a matter of going through each setting and clicking through, can I fill this out? Can I do this? And once you start adding videos, structure your playlist so that you can develop that engagement that we'll talk a bit more as an actual ranking factor. And do things like building a channel trailer. This is kind of a buried feature where you can put basically one video at the profile of your YouTube channel to introduce people to what your brand is, what your YouTube channel is about, what they can expect, and why they should subscribe. And so that you can go from, I posted a video on YouTube or I host a video on YouTube to actually having a YouTube presence.
And I think that's a great way to look at it. And I kind of want to repeat that for everybody so that they can hear it. Optimizing your channel is where your videos will live. And when you optimize your channel, you get to translate or transition from I posted a video to I have a comprehensive YouTube presence. You could tie your videos together. You can do the things like the playlist to be able to have more of a complete presence. Now we've talked and we've kind of covered the idea of channel optimization, and we want to go into optimizing the individual videos. And there's a lot of stuff, again, that's going to pull directly from our traditional SEO best practices. Make sure that your title and your metadata are reflective of the content of your post. Make sure that you have annotations, if possible, that are going to go in there and provide the structured information that YouTube as an internal search engine, but also that Google as your barnacle opportunity are able to recognize the context of that video. Use things like closed caption or transcriptions. YouTube has their own transcription service that will go and do that. It's really pretty terrible. So we usually recommend, Nate, I don't know if you have any other ones, but I've always used SpeechPad. SpeechPad it's affordable, the quality of it is great, and it allows you to have a transcription of your video, which creates that text-based content.
I agree. And if you don't agree, go and look at a YouTube transcription if you've never done that, and then you'll be sold.
Yeah, and SpeechPad, like I said, it's very affordable. I think it's by the minute of your recording. And really the benefit here is it adds, video content is difficult for a computer algorithm to process that content. Text content is much easier for a computer algorithm or crawler to process. By having a transcription of your video content, you are now able to provide search engines with a very explicit understanding of what is being said within that video. We're just talking about things as far as optimization. This is more for user optimization, but set a custom thumbnail. You would be amazed at the engagement and the way that engagement changes based on the thumbnail that you select. Especially if your video starts with a black screen that fades in, you don't want the thumbnail video, which is supposed to encourage people to click, to be that black screen. Try to find a compelling frame within your video and use that as the thumbnail. And Nate's kind of talked about buried settings when it came to channel optimization. Same concept applied here to the video optimization. There are advanced settings right as soon as you upload that. There's a tab for advanced settings where you can add things like categories, which is about as close to structured information as YouTube is going to provide for you. You can add your location if that's going to be valuable in terms of showing people that you have some sort of a local presence. You can even optimize videos, and this comes more when we get into the promotion section, which we'll get to in a bit, but you can even affect things like the start time of your video. If you've got a very long video, but you know that you're pitching it to a specific blogger that would only be interested in a small piece of it, if you append the parameter t equals and then the number and the number of seconds that you want it to start at, so say t equals 100 would be start at minute 140, you can actually affect the way that that video is presented to that audience or cater it to a specific audience based on their needs.
Yeah, and that's a good parlay into the big YouTube ranking factor, which is engagement. As an internal search engine, YouTube wants people to stay on their platform. And just like we talked about in episode 3 about how one of Amazon's ranking factors is sales, YouTube wants engagement. And so anything that you can do to keep people on YouTube, YouTube's going to like that. They want to see views. They want to see minutes watched. And so this kind of starts with creating the video that you would want to watch as a user. You don't disrespect the people watching your video. Make the video that you would want to watch. And, Brett mentioned the annotations and, the call outs, they can be really useful. They can also be really painful. And we've all seen the spammy videos on YouTube. Encourage engagement, encourage sharing. Remember that the average watch time is 2 minutes. But a lot of engagement, it gets kind of odd because YouTube really is its own channel. And when we talk about engagement, it goes back to, again, that odd blend of being search-based as an internal search engine, but also having strong social elements where people are watching and sharing. And a lot of focus on YouTube channels get so focused on going viral that a lot of times people forget about why they're creating the content in the first place.
And I'm glad you brought up this idea of going viral, because it's hard to talk about YouTube and it's hard to talk about video optimization as a marketing strategy without that holy grail or what everybody wants. They want their video to go viral. They want their 1 billion views from their 1 billion visitors. And some people think that going viral is just a matter of luck. It's a matter of circumstance, or the matter of a well-written script, or they got lucky. But Nate and I each recently finished reading a book called Contagious, The Science of Why Things Catch On. It's written by Jonah Berger, and he delved into what causes things to go viral. And he did research across a number of different marketing campaigns, a number of different mediums, channels, what have you. And he came down to kind of 6 fundamental factors. One being the concept that sharing gives the sharer some form of social currency. They feel better about themselves or validated having shared that piece of content. Viral content triggers some sort of association in the mind of the audience. It elicits either an emotional response or it adds some sort of practical value. Viral content must be public and it must be observable. It has to be something that can be released to an audience or engaged with by an audience. And most importantly, that it has to tell a story.
Now, Berger does make the point that not all of these factors are necessary for something to go viral or for someone to engage with your content. But to do that, you need to understand what is going to create that emotional or public or practical value response. And you need to understand the triggers and the full story behind, why you're creating the video. And once you understand that, you can get into the meat and potatoes of what all marketers truly love and what YouTube really wants to see, and that is promotion.
And promotion is the bread and butter. It's why we have jobs. Our jobs are not necessarily always as marketers at least, are not always to create the asset, but to make sure that once the asset is created, that it reaches that audience, that we can be where our audience is. One of the couple of the most fundamental things that YouTube offers, they offer the ability to embed videos. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen these on blog posts. The embed button is, front and center on an individual video. You can go to the last video that you watched, and it'll be right there underneath the screen. It'll be right next to the thumbs up or the thumbs down icons. Embeds are a great way to be able to make sure, and we talked about that time parameter. If you want to encourage people to embed your video, you can use that time parameter to put the video exactly where your audience is going to be interested in. There's shares on YouTube. Being able to actually go out there and share not only the video, but promote that through your different social channels. A lot of our traditional marketing strategies that we would apply to a blog post, that we would apply to content marketing, that we would apply to a new product launch. The idea here is that promotion is going to be driven by social sharing. And social sharing comes through those embeds. It can also come through things like subscriptions. There's a very real reason why Nate and I decided to talk about channel optimization before we even talked about video optimization. And that's if you can get subscriptions to your channel, you are able to build an audience much like you would an email newsletter. And you're starting to get people that are going to see old content, that they were interested in it, engage with that. So try to make sure that you have that optimized channel that you can encourage subscriptions to. And when we're talking about subscriptions as well, YouTube has this really, really cool tool, and it's called the Fan Finder. And coming straight from their site, the Fan Finder, and I quote, finds and connects your channel to new fans at no cost to you. Just create a channel ad and we do the rest. And YouTube wants promotion. You've heard Nate say that 2 or 3 times over the past 15 minutes. YouTube craves promotion. And to do that, they want to make sure that your video, if it's well produced and it does engage with that audience, is promoted to as many of their subscribers as is humanly possible. So definitely check out the Fan Finder. The other aspect of promotion, which is something that a lot of SEOs sadly don't really consider, and that's paid media, paid augmentation. We've heard that phrase, or supplementing with paid media. But
It's like euphemisms for SEOs. It's like, heaven forbid we pay for promotion.
Frankly, I don't understand why more SEOs don't understand the value of paying to promote different assets that ultimately are designed to drive SEO growth, to drive links, to drive engagement or shares on that asset. But paid promotion is a great opportunity to extend the reach of your audience. We sound a little bit like a broken record talking about this, but we want to make sure that we can be where our audience is. If we have to pay to get into that party, but it's a party that has all the major players in our industry, then absolutely I'll pay the cover charge. And you should too. When you talk about promoting your videos, there's two primary ways that YouTube allows for advertising. And everybody, I'm sure, is familiar with them. They're the preview ads that you see that lead into a video. And then there's also the popover ads that appear typically in the first, 20 to 30 seconds of the video. And you can set your settings based on demographics. You can set your settings based on, your budget. There's a lot of different ways that you can use YouTube advertising to be able to make sure that you can get your brand and even promote the videos themselves in front of an additional segment of your audience.
Also, pro tip, I heard that they were rolling out related video promotions. I think that fits into the inbound ethos of SEOs. Where people like watch their video and then they see yours was promoted at the end. That's really cool.
Absolutely. And that's also one of the things where the related videos, related is a related audience. Being able to say Google is going to do the work for you. They are going to promote your video to people who have watched similar videos. So I don't have any personal experience with that, but that definitely sounds like a pretty wild feature.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. And whether you're doing organic or paid, one thing that we've been talking about ever since episode 1 is that you can't manage what you don't measure, as the management consultant W. Edwards Deming might say. And notably, on YouTube has analytics. It's another buried feature, I guess. It's fairly accessible from the settings menu. And you can see on YouTube, the engagement metrics. You can see which videos are underperforming, learn what type of videos your audience wants, but you can also use it to see where your traffic is coming from. Are you getting traffic from Google organic search to your videos? Are you getting it from embeds? Can you use that information on where your videos are being embedded to establish a further relationship with that website for your website? Anyway, all the analytics are there. It's just a matter of going and looking at it. And also the other hidden bit is that YouTube analytics are public. If you go and look at competitor videos, there is a place where you can click on statistics and you can see statistics for your competitors' videos, where it's being embedded, and get a sense of how you can use that information for your own videos, your own website.
It's also a great keyword research tool to be able to go and see which videos are being, you can always look at the number of views, but being able to say, hey, did they get a spike in views because it was posted to Huffington Post? Or do they have a diversified, quote unquote, backlink profile for these YouTube videos that allow you to understand, again, where that audience is?
Exactly. Well, quickly, two of my favorite case studies on YouTube. They're both bigger brands, but I think Mental Floss has done a really good job about developing a YouTube strategy that's completely separate from their website and really building it as a complementary asset. If you want to look at a true viral sensation, Dollar Shave Club built their business on YouTube. They're really good to look at. But
the only other one that I would add to that would be a much less interesting industry, but Blendtec blenders.
Yes.
Blendtec blenders is one of it's almost kind of the original YouTube case study, where they revitalized the industry by showing what the product can do. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I don't even know what the exponential growth for the number of words a video is worth. If you have a product that you have a hard time describing using just words, Blendtec was able to say, hey, we're going to put marbles in the blender and watch what happens to it. We're going to I think they put a brick in there to be able to show that the blades will stay sharp. The blades will continue to function regardless of what you can put into this product. So you're able to demonstrate, you're able to show, not tell. and to really keep in mind that this is an incredible opportunity to engage with people in a very visual manner and in a way that is really going to capture people to tell your story in a way that text content simply cannot.
That's a good wrap. Well, you can find links to those case studies along with other things that we mentioned in our show notes, along with our contact information at bamboochalupa.com. And please subscribe to the podcast in iTunes and leave a comment and rating while you're there. It gives us great feedback and it helps others discover the show. So for Brett Snyder, I'm Nate Shiver. Thanks for listening.